What's going on, everybody? It's Dave Drakes. We're back with another TCE production. We're coming at you with my main man, Manny, over here for the first episode of the Foul Plugs Moto Show. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the hell is this? So this is going to be a discussion show between me and Manny Fresh over here, back and forth about the races, behind-the-scenes stuff, some amateur happenings, what we got going on in the program, and a lot more. We're going to do some rider interviews, maybe some product reviews. It's going to get into it big time. You know, when we do anything from the TCE crew, we're going to come correct. So we're excited. If you guys don't know, I'm Dave Drakes with the Collective Experience. Have a big hold on our program right now. Kind of bummed, but we're coming back for the outdoors where fans can go behind the scenes with their favorite rider. Accompanying me is Manny Fresh. This guy almost needs no introduction, but Manny, for those people, very few, maybe one or two guys in the country who don't know who you are, man, give us a quick rundown.
What's going on, guys? Manny Jones, longtime friend, riding buddy of Dave here. Been around since the beginning of TCE. You know, it's a great program.
OG.
You know, meet so many people in the industry, and just honestly, Dave's such a good guy, so he has me coming on the show. So I'm gonna help you guys out.
Yeah, I paid Manny to say that, so. He's not that nice to me normally. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, we're really excited, and like we've been saying, we've got the program, the Collective Experience, that's popping for outdoors. What that is it's a program that gets the everyday fan, no matter where you're from around the world. We get people from all over New Zealand, Canada, Australia to fly to a race. You guys come out, hang out with your favorite riders for a behind-the-scenes experience. You get fully immersed. You get awesome behind-the-scenes exposure to race teams, team personnel, sponsors, unparalleled access behind the velvet rope. You're catered to. You're treated like a VIP for the day, pretty much. On top of that, we also have an internship program that gets people immersed in the sport as well, hands-on experience, where they can actually get hired from pro teams. We've had so many people come on board with it. Manny has done it a couple times. Manny, you're able to help out a list of riders, right? I can't even remember how many riders.
Yeah, a bunch of riders. Tevin Tapia, AJ. So I've been around.
Yeah, you've been more races than I have. But I mean, you're getting floor access to Supercross. I mean, you're doing so many great things, and all the proceeds that are raised goes to the privateer riders, the guys that need help, staying in there every weekend. Just the grassroots, blue collar guys of the sport that really need it. And we are so grateful to have so many great sponsors like FXR come on board, Flow Vision goggles, Overshear advice and planning, and Intake breathing. Again, guys, if you have any questions about the program, head to thecollectivexp.com, the Collective EX on Instagram, contact at thecollectivexp.com, and we'll get you squared away. Manny, now you and I have been going back and forth for a few weeks about Supercross. Anytime something pops up with Supercross, we're talking about it. Now it ended a little while ago, but we haven't had a chance to kind of deep dive and talk about it. So let's start off with the 450. The 250 has so much stuff on it. I want to save that for the end. The 450. Well, we chatted a little bit. Roxon seemed like he was going to be our boy. I was rooting for him, rooting for the homie on red. But Tomac was a force, man, and I kind of thought Tomac would be Tomac and falter halfway through, blow the points lead. It didn't happen, man. Like, what did you think about it?
I think like it really stemmed with a lot of what he kind of was talking about at the end of the season. Like I think he kind of got his mental game, going. Like, I mean, I got a chance to kind of run that by, the guys over at Rack Racing, and they're really big on that. So the mental aspect of things, and I really think he kind of locked it in this year. He seemed real poised at the end of the season. Like nothing really rattled him at all.
Yeah, that was crazy because I wonder what the difference was because normally Tomac rounds 1 through 5 usually they're okay. He'll get into a heater spurt where he's just knocking them off one by one, and then he has a DNF. Like, what do you think made the difference for him this year?
I think he was just confident. I think this year, like he knew, he was going to start off kind of a little bit slow, and he's going to put those heaters down in the middle of the season, where he kind of just looks unreal, pretty usual. And I think this year he was really focused at those last couple races, and then on top of everything, with COVID and the whole restart, I think everybody was thrown for a loop. So it just allowed kind of him to really lock in and just solely focus on those last few races that he needed to lock in on.
Yeah, I think he used that break to like you said, reset himself and just go back to square one and solidify that lead. But Man, I thought Kenny would have something like Atlanta, even like
Yeah,
Daytona, which is usually Tomac just like, start to finish is gone at Daytona. Kenny had a big ass lead. Like he was out front, he was sprinting away, and Tomac came from behind and got him. I mean, we knew Tomac would be fast there, but I didn't think that Roxon really have as much as he did. And then we cut to the break. Roxon comes back, and we're like, man, was this a different rider? Like, obviously these riders have ups and downs, but to see the fall that hard with Roxman, it was it was a bummer.
yeah, I was disappointed in it, but I mean, like once kind of the news kind of came out, kind of what he was really kind of going on with as far as health issues and things like that, it kind of came out stuff that kind of was out of his control. It just kind of sucked. Like,
Exactly.
why? Especially you're rooting on somebody, they go into what the break 3 points
Yep.
point difference, and I was just like, oh yeah, we're getting ready to watch a duel, for the championship, and it kind of just to watch him, that race where he got lapped twice. It kind of that really kind of disappointed me. But I mean, you can't really say much. I just hope he kind of brings some momentum into outdoors and gets himself going.
Exactly. I mean, like you said, you can't really control a lot of it, but if we didn't have that break and Roxon didn't have the health issues he had, do we see a different ending to the 2020 Supercross season? Does Tomac come to Indy, to Seattle, and does he have that same momentum, that same drive that he had in the earlier rounds, like say like in Atlanta, or does Kenny kind of fall by the wayside? No disrespect to Kenny, but does he have the same sort of trajectory that he had at the Salt Lake rounds?
I think Kenny was riding a good momentum train. So I don't think like I didn't expect him to fall off or falter kind of really anyway. I really thought it was gonna be tooth and nail. The person that I really didn't think was gonna become a factor at those end couple of races was Cooper Webb.
Oh, right. Like that was crazy. Cooper had like he was he looked like he had a chip on his shoulder. Like he had like a fire under his ass to come back and like and show these guys something. Like he had that crash in Texas that we all saw. Like rest in peace to his backbone because that was crazy. But then he comes out, gets a break, rests up a little bit, and this guy is vying for wins. Like it's a totally different rider towards the last half of the season. I would have loved to have seen this Cooper Webb like the middle of the like or a little bit before the middle of the season. I would have loved to have seen this come out like blazing fast, really getting in Tomac's head because you know that he's mentally strong. You know he's like a little thorn in their side, just like bugging them and nagging them. I would have loved to have seen a three-way battle between Roxon, Webb, Tomac that went down to like the wire. Like they were just like a second off each other, just battling nonstop. We saw a little bit of that in Oakland, but I mean, still they were kind of spaced out for a little while. Like that would have been a decent ass race to me.
Yeah, we never got that 1, 2, 3 battle that we were
Exactly.
really looking for, like with all three of them kind of really going at it. I mean, but the one thing you can take from it is just Cooper Webb's a dog, man. Like if one thing, he's gonna grind it out.
Yeah,
He's gonna find a way to get to the front and recover. And he just showed that championship grit that he did and get in the first one.
yeah. Cooper did his thing, man. I was shocked. I didn't really write him off. I knew he would still be a threat, but I didn't realize how big of a factor. The guy was Mr. Wednesday. He won every like middle of the week race we had in convincing fashion. I thought he would again maybe have like a podium here or win, but maybe an up and down. But I want like he turned it around, man. So I think looking back, Tomac, Cooper Webb, I think they benefited from the break. They got a chance to kind of like Tomac just got a chance to reset, maybe not have as much pressure on him since we really didn't know when we were going back to racing. He kind of had a break, got to
Yeah.
focus on his home life and maybe get some things together on his end, and came back and just killed it. Cooper Webb, same deal, reset, came and killed it. I one rider that I thought would benefit from the break, which I'm not saying he had a bad race, but Justin Barsha, man, Justin Barsha was looking so fast,
Oh my God.
especially at round two. I think that was St. Louis, where he was getting low over that tunnel jump, and I
Yeah,
was yeah, and
exactly.
I was losing it because that's my boy, and the guy looked so dope, like he looked so good on the bike, like he was, he won. I think he won A1, right?
He looks so
Looked
comfortable on that
looked
bike.
extremely
Like it,
comfortable, and
I
then
really thought it was going to be a good season for him.
me
Like,
too.
like I was like, wow. I was like, okay, Justin Barsha may, win a few of these
Yeah,
things like
exactly,
here. Like he looked
exactly.
fast. Like he was out front. and he wasn't getting ran down.
Yeah.
Like it was like he looked good.
I thought he looked phenomenal, man. And then over the break, I thought that he would use that break to like, okay, get a rest, regroup, find the holes in the program, and then come back swinging. Didn't quite see that. Obviously, Justin Marsh is still a phenomenal talent, but it would have been dope to see that. Same goes for Jason Anderson, man. I thought Ando would like have a serious run at it too, but not as much as some of the other guys. That was a little crazy to see.
Yeah. How about Malcolm Stewart getting his first heat race win and closing the season out with a fourth?
Malcolm
Your twin.
Stewart. That he looked good, man. I'm still waiting for him to get that good start and then just blast away from these guys. Malcolm is probably one of the most talented guys on the gate. Super good in whoops. We don't have to say anything about his whoop speed. Everyone knows he's a monster in the whoops. No one's touching him. Maybe one or two guys on a good night, but the guy's a monster in the whoops. He knows how to race really well. Knows how to race forward. I wonder if it's like I just want to know what it is. I wonder if it's like I can't really pinpoint. Is it stamina deal? Is it just him getting in his head? Are the other guys just that much better with their racecraft? But I'm not sure what pieces to the puzzle he needs. But I feel like he's like almost there. Like he's almost like the dude can win.
Yeah, he's like right on the cusp. It's like it seems like it comes down to kind of what a lot of people say. Like everybody's like, I get a good start, I can hang up front with these guys,
Yeah.
and that's what I think it comes down to for him because it's like, he has speed.
Yep.
So when he's up front and he finds out the pace,
Yeah.
he's good. Usually once he can hang around up there, and so and he showed it in the last race. Once he get up there, he was battling for that podium position. So it's like. I think it's just if he can get consistent on his starts, I think we'll see him definitely put it on the box.
So, do you think that Malcolm Stewart could do a multi-podium run, maybe even a win in 2021?
I think 2021 he'll definitely be on the box multiple times.
I can see that. And he seems to like that Honda, man. Like Moto Concepts, people sleep on them. They get slept on, but they're a solid ass team.
They got a good bike.
They got a great bike. Yeah.
They're always in front in contention for whole shots.
Exactly. I think they're dope. Let's see. Moving to another guy. We had a podium sweep at the last round with Zach Osborne top of the podium. Second, Ando. Third, we had Dean Wilson. Really, really great to see Wilson make a rebound and have a strong end to the season, man. The guy is uber talented, probably one of the most popular guys in the paddock. We love seeing him ride. We love his Instagram, love his presence. Does this momentum roll forward for Dean? Like, can he use this and move into outdoors and maybe even momentum for 2021? Like, will we see a Dean that's kind of like rejuvenated, you think?
I think so. I think he's gonna roll into 2020 outdoors in 2021 with the confidence. Knowing he did it. He can hang up there with those guys, run the pace. And I think that's just a big step going into, training for the next season. I think it's just, having that in the back of his head, like, okay, I put it on the box. I got the speed. He's not worrying about any injuries or anything like that lingering really anymore now. So I think it's really good for him.
I think so too. I think this is going to be a good momentum starter. I really hope that he doesn't, look at it as like, oh, that was just a Supercross last race and, totally reset. Like obviously you want to reset and take the new season as a new start, new part of your program. But I really hope he carries like that confidence forward, man, because Dean should be up there, man. Dean, like the dude is so fast, so talented. The bike is really good. He gels well with the bike. I want to see Dean like battling for podiums, man. Like that'd be dope. Any of those Husky boys, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. Speaking of the Husky boys, going in the outdoor, how about Zach Osborne? Coming off a win.
Yes.
What do you think?
I like him. Like obviously Osborne is a world-class rider. Dude is nasty. I think he's more of a outdoor specialist. When he went back-to-back 250 Supercross, 250 outdoor titles, he was unstoppable. Dude was so fast. I think now that he's got the win under his belt, he's been riding solidly this season. We had the COVID break. He's been able to kind of go back to boot camp and get his program figured out. I think he's going to be lethal. I don't think he's going to be handed anything. I don't think he's going to be like running away and not have anyone around him. Like he's gonna have some tough competition on his hands, man. We have his teammates that are coming out. We've got Tomac, the defending champion. You've got Cooper Webb. who
Yep.
on any weekend could leave everybody.
Yep.
You've got Roxon, just so many fast people, but I do think he's going to be in the mix, man. The guy just seems like he's never going to get tired. His bike works amazingly in all conditions, he knows how to win. I don't see him coming into like that top 7 at the end of the year. I think this guy's going to have multiple podiums, 1 or 2, maybe 3, 4 wins, and be solid, man. He seems like now is the time where he's like, okay, I kind of get the 450 class, I get the bike. Now let's make some
Yep.
stuff happen, and now let's back up the 250 titles that I had with some really good 450 runs.
Exactly. And I think also that what goes into that is like I think we forget like how old Zach Osborne is. Like
Yeah,
he's mature. He's not a young, he's new to the 450 class, but
yeah,
he's not young.
he's
So
seasoned.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
seasoned, he's like real mature, and I think he has a really good racecraft, honestly.
yeah,
Like if you watch him, when he's coming through the pack, like he has really good racecraft. The guy knows how to get to the front.
yeah. No, he does, man. Plus, he's riding with some of the best guys in the world. He's at Baker's factory. He's got Alden Baker in his corner. I don't think you can really go wrong, man. I mean, I think he's got all the winning ingredients to be like the guy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really cool to see. Some other guys that I wanted to kind of get to is what's your thoughts on Aaron Plessinger and Justin Brayton? I feel like Brayton came out pretty decently, not lighting the world on fire, but had some respectable results. But what's the deal with Aaron Plessinger, man? Like, I think he's on the mend right now. Like, what are you
Yeah.
thinking for his performance in Supercross, and where do you think we're going to see him next?
I honestly like Aaron Plessinger, that was my guy in
Yeah.
the 250 class.
Yep.
And it's like I feel like he hasn't been able to 100% live up to kind of the hype that he had coming in.
Mm.
And this year it was kind of like he wasn't bad, but he wasn't where we expected to see him. Like we never got to really see him, contend for wins, contend really for like, the podium spots, like how we really thought we were going to see him.
Mm.
And now, with Dylan coming up, like what are we going to see, like
I agree with that. Yeah, you guys haven't had that tall boy crew going on over there. So all you guys over 6 feet just hanging out, riding dirt bikes. But what do you think is missing from Plessinger's program? Like, what is the missing ingredient that is, I guess, eluding him and not allowing us to see the 250 type of Aaron on the 450s? What do you think the big change is?
I'm not too sure. I don't know. I can't really put a finger on it because it's like I don't want to say like he's like coming off of like a major injury or anything because like he hasn't had that big injury that's like really been holding people back that you could kind of like put an excuse for. And then who's he training with right now?
I'm
Is
not
he
even sure, to be honest with you.
with Swanepoel?
What say it again?
Is he with Swanepoel training still?
I know he wasn't 250. I wouldn't. I mean, if I was a pro rider, I wouldn't drop Swanepoel. Man, the guy is solid.
That's what I
I
was
want to stay
asking.
with him forever.
That's why I said I'm like if he was still with him, then you definitely can't question his fitness.
Yeah,
So it's like that's why I said it's hard to kind of really put your finger on it.
yeah. Man, I would love to see Plessinger like maybe like have a resurgence. You know what I mean, and come back to where
Yeah.
he's like really having fun on his dirt bike,
Yeah.
and making a name for himself like up there. Like I feel like people are like forgetting like what a great rider he is and like how strong of a rider he is indoor and outdoor, which not many guys can do.
People didn't like I actually it's crazy how quickly people forget how stacked and good this 450 class is.
Yes.
Like you got to put some respect on a lot of these guys' names. Like
Right.
it's like go put my mixtape up. Like it's like
Right. Look at my stats real quick.
exactly like
No, I 100% agree. 100%. So we've been talking about 450s. Let's shimmy on over to 250s. The ending to the Supercross season, we didn't really get to see that battle. I think we wanted to see like in the last ones. We didn't see like the Sexton McElrath tooth and nail to the last lap deal. We
yeah,
didn't see the Dylan Ferrandis Forkner all out battle. Like those guys were just back and forth. There weren't too many like spoilers per se. Like what was your thought on the last round? Like were you pretty happy and enthralled with it, or was it like a
as a complete thing, it was like it ended up kind of anticlimactic just because Forkner gets hurt, then they have the restart, so it kind of messed everything up that we kind of everybody had going into it because beginning of the day everybody's like, whoa, Forkner still has a chance in this thing,
Yep.
like we're ready to see Shane go at it, so everybody was really interested and keyed in on that. And then when all that happened, when Fortner goes down, oh my gosh, I almost turned the TV off.
Right?
Like,
I was like, no, not
I
again.
was like, come on.
Right?
I was so gutted for him. So gutted. Like, oh my gosh. And then what was up with with Shane and Chase in the main event?
That
It
was
seemed like a little
weird.
cat and mouse. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if I was, I get it. With Sexton, you didn't really have to win. Like you just had to be next to the dude. Like let McElrath get in front of you, and then you manage. I felt like McElrath couldn't. Like you had to. If you're behind in points, you better get your ass like at the front of the pack and sprint on everybody, on everybody. And he was kind of like, "Well, I want to follow you. I don't want you following me." Type of deal. I was like, "Bro, you don't have time to play these games. Like, you don't have that luxury. You're behind in points. Like, let's go." Like, I honestly, I thought McElrath would have the title. I called it early. I was like McElrath all day. He one thing that he impressed me with was how well he got used to the Yamaha. Now you have that new bike. The Yamaha is serious. That bike is fast.
Love it.
I didn't think he would hop on the Yamaha and go that fast or be that solid that quick. I would have given him half a season. The guy came out blazing fast and looked like he was a class leader. I was like, all right, McElrath, we got it. Finally, a year we can get the title. And I feel like this time after time, like Chase Chase rides amazing. Like the guy is the most fundamentally sound rider other than Roxon that I can see out there. And I feel like McElrath just like played it safe almost like here and there. Like I hate to even say it, but I felt like McElrath had so many chances to like get an extra point here at this race or an extra point here that could have set him up better for the last round. And even at the last round, it's like, dude, why are you playing cat and mouse? Like, get out front, yard his ass, and then we're good.
Well, I think it really just sucked the life out of him when they had to restart. Because if you remember, he got out front.
Yeah.
And I think, he's out front putting his laps in. Remember, Chase was way back in the pack. He was like at like seventh or something like that. Yep. So he was out there. He's locked in his head. He's like, all right, I'm just going to, put this thing in, heat it out to the end.
Yep.
Take a restart. I think that sucked the life out of him. He's like, come on. Like, you got to build those nerves back up because he's like, I have to get to the front now.
Yeah.
And then I think, they get the start and Chase is right there. He's like, come on. Like,
yeah.
So I think just that kind of sucked the life out of him. And then he knew the only way he could win once he was up there with Chase is Chase had to either go down or something like that. So it reminded me of kind of when Eli was doing that with Dungey at the end of the season. It reminded me of that little cat and mouse thing. He took a little bit and then Chase kind of just went by and then it was just like, you know what, all right, I'll just pull out.
That makes sense to me. Now I'll throw this at you though. If Forkner doesn't go down, Forkner stays up. Where do you think Forkner ends up in that moto? Because we had, Chase, then McElrath, and then Moseman riding phenomenal. Him and McAdoo, those guys are going to be serious. But we'll get to them in a little bit. But where do you think Forkner would have ended up?
Forkner, probably second.
I was going to say top two.
I think he gets second. I don't know if he would have caught. I don't think he catches Shane. Or I don't think so. I don't know. He was riding really good, but I just don't think Shane was on another level that in that first go round. He was putting his laps in.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he gets second, and independent. We can't call how Dylan was gonna do. Honestly, like where he was, like you can't call it. Like I think Fortner had a legit shot at winning.
I agree, man. I mean, hats off to Dylan. Dylan rode awesome. I kind of picked him as the favorite for the title beginning of the year, but it's a bummer for Forkner. We don't want to see anybody out there getting hurt. It's a shitty part of our sport, but I know. And again, man, like the guy has so much potential, but we'll see him. He's still young. He still has a lot of time to kind of work out those bugs and like the young dude energy. So
I think he thought he'd be on his way out of the 250 class by now too.
You think so?
I think about it. If he gets the one last year that he pretty much was assuring for if he didn't hurt himself.
Yeah.
This year he almost won it again. So, he'd have been out of here with Chase.
Yeah. Do you think he's got you're right. Do you think he's got another 2 years in the class?
I don't know. I think he wants to get one. I know. I think he wants to get one.
Yep.
I don't think he does a Adam where he stays there, and and doesn't get one, but I think he wants to get one and then leave. So
Hmm. I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. So going back to Moseman and McAdoo, were you blown away by the way they were riding? Like, granted, they didn't really have much to lose. They were, they're not like in the title hunt, but god damn, they were fast. Like, if we
dude,
would have
dude,
seen McAdoo and
oh
Moseman like this at the beginning of the season, they would have been serious title threats.
my gosh, dude. First of all, McAdoo, I liked McAdoo
Yeah,
for a
for a
while now.
while. Yep, yep,
That shot with Moto Concepts,
yep.
and literally like he was riding fast. He looks good on that bike, man. It's just like
Yeah,
it's like a complete different, like like now he has a real top tier program around him,
yep,
and you can see the difference
yeah.
in his riding. You can see the difference in his confidence. The bike's working well. Like he's like a legit, contender
Yeah.
podium every night.
He looks good. Like the one thing I like about McAdoo is that he didn't really change his style up. He just looks a little bit more aggressive. But he's not making too many mistakes. So a lot of times when guys try to go faster, they end up falling or pushing the front. A lot of times, like we see, especially in the lights class, 250 class, guys are doing that all the time. And he looks like he's controlled. Like he almost looks like he's got Forkner's riding style a little bit, but he's a little bit more like in control, a little more smooth, a little bit more like solid on the bike. So I think he's going to be a problem for those guys next year. I'm hoping he stays at PC. I'm hoping he stays 250 for next year. I'm thinking he is. He's going to be a threat. He's going to be a problem.
The guy I have my eye on, who I think everybody has their eye on next year, is Jet Lawrence.
Jet okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. We'll get on the Jet Lowers.
That's must see TV. Like
Yeah, I like what Jet has to offer. Number one, dope personality. Number two, he's on one of the raddest bikes out there. Number three, crazy talent for a young dude. I don't think people realize he's only 16. Number one, and we haven't had a 16-year-old pop out and do that well in a Supercross that young since what, Stewart? So I mean, it's almost like rarefied air to where you have a kid who's coming from like halfway across the world, plopped into Supercross, the most competitive moto type group probably we've had in last 5 years or so, and killing it. The guy is like, granted, he's not like yard in the field and like winning by a lot, but the fact that he's even top three battling with guys like Ferrandis and Craig, it's crazy. Dude, that's insane for a young kid.
yeah, it's like the people we can work with speed, as people say all the time.
Exactly.
Him, him and Pierce look like the two fastest, raw speed people that are going to be in the 250 as far as like rookie kids.
I agree. How long do you think before we see them at the point where we see a Sexton or a McElrath? How long before we see Jet Lawrence and Brown like ascend to that top of the class level? Are we talking 2 years, 3 years, a season, half a season? Like, what are you thinking?
I I think Jet Lawrence is going to be a contender next year. I think they're gonna do a job to try to reel him in
Yeah.
over there next season. As far as the kid just sends it
Yeah.
wide open, and I think they're just going to be like they're going to reel it in. They're going to say, hey, you can take the second, you can take the third, get the let's get the championship because he has the speed to do it. He's technically sound enough, So I think that's really what they have to do. Is really just reel him in a little bit and not be so balls to the wall
Yeah.
when he's like comes up next to him.
I agree. And I think one guy that can really help him out is his teammate Christian Craig. I think if he takes a lot of the fundamentals that Craig has, and like Craig's an older dude too. Like he's got like that like almost like that 450 mentality where like those guys are solid start to finish. They're aggressive and they're fast, but they don't make those like young dude mistakes. They don't make like the rookie mistakes. They're not pushing the front. They're not overriding the track. They're not overriding themselves. They're just very, very smart about their racing. I think Craig would be a great quote unquote mentor for Jet to help smooth out his program and his riding and
Yep,
help him just to utilize like his speed like in the best way possible.
definitely.
That would be a good pairing. I think Jet is going to be solid. Let's move on to the lone KTM captain, Mr. Hartranft. That guy was he looked really good. I was surprised about how solid he looked. Just like McElrath, I thought that he would kind of take a while to get used to the bike, but he came out as a solid guy. He was lighting the world on fire, but dude was like solid podium speed. Like he looked good.
I think yeah, he's another one of those guys. I think he's gonna be like a Shane, quiet, fast. And he's just gonna put results in, and I think that's really kind of remember they're in rebuilding on that KTM team, so I think they have good pieces. They just didn't have the big name that's lighting the world on fire, so people kind of tend to overlook them a little bit.
I agree. One guy that we got to give a shout out to is Joe Schmoda, man, on that Geico bike too. I did not think he would do too much. I mean, obviously, I knew he was fast, following him through amateurs, but he came out looking solid.
Yeah, he got an 8th, I think, in the final. Yeah,
dude is
top 10, yeah.
I think he got Rookie of the Year too. I think he bested your boy Jalik Swole.
Yeah, that's my guy.
I know. We got to talk to him. we got to let him know some facts. All right, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who is your one guy that you thought would have a better season in the 250s, both either division and in the 450s for Supercross?
250s, you know who I'm gonna say? I think Jalik Swole was gonna have a better season than he did.
Yeah.
I just had high hopes for him. Coming out of amateurs, I had my eye on him. Inconsistent is the word I'll say.
Okay, I agree with that.
For the 450 class, I will say, I would say Justin Barcia disappointed me with the way he finished the season.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two people I would say, just because Justin Barcia had all eyes on him in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of just slowly, I would say, declined in his results. Like I didn't really get to see him, back up there, battling for a win. How I thought I would see him, throughout the whole season.
Okay, I agree with that. That makes sense.
How about you?
I'd probably say I really thought Plessinger would have a better Supercross run. I mean, especially after he had like a little bit of last year to get things going. He had the break, the COVID break, to kind of work the bugs out. And it's just a bummer, man. We didn't see that AP that we're used to seeing at 250s, man. I thought this would be a year of like a lot of that upward trajectory of like, okay, we're stepping, we're getting to top 10. Okay, now we're top 7, now we're top 5, now we're getting the podium, and you know what I mean. I thought we'd see him get more and more comfortable and better results, but it didn't happen. Which we know the sport's tough, and hopefully AP can figure it out. For 250s, I'm probably gonna have to say I agree with you on Swole for sure. I thought, especially with him being such the level of rider that he is, the way he was riding, and like through amateurs, and the people he's training with, the bike that he's on, the resources he has access to, training Timmy Ferries and stuff like that. And, he's got really good tracks, really good stuff. I thought that obviously we didn't expect the guy to come out and win a title, right?
Yeah.
But I thought for sure that he would come out and qualify for the first one. Which obviously it's a feat in itself qualifying for these things. So hats off to all the guys that do qualify, that even attempt to. Savages. I thought he would be like, top 15 first one, and then slowly top 5, then, podium. And I thought he would for sure be top 5 for a lot of it. But, again, he's in a stat class. The kid is new, and we still have a lot. He still has a lot to show us. I think he's going to be a force in the future here soon. Just thought he'd have just a little bit better of a rookie Supercross season.
Yeah, I definitely thought he'd give me a podium this season. That's kind of what that was my goal for him this season, and he just couldn't get it done for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got some time. He's still young. We still have some time. So we coming to outdoors in a week or two. Is it right? I don't even know. I can't tell time on the calendar anymore, man. I don't know what day it is. Like, it's just I'm working from home
at the time.
So we run on our own calendar anyway. But So we're going into outdoors. who do you think is going to be the guy to look out for in the 450? Whether that's going to be a guy that we see win a championship or a guy that's going to improve on his riding. Who's the guy that you're picking from the 450 and 250 that are going to open some eyes, or maybe even shock some people?
I think who I think or who I want. I
Both,
really think
both. Give me both because it might not be the same answer, right?
exactly. I I want I want Blake Baggett to have a really good outdoor season.
Yes, me too.
Really want him to do well. I
Yes.
mean, the guy's all in on his program,
Yep.
and he's so fast outdoors. First of all, he's ridiculous. Like, and I just want him to really string it together. Like
Yeah.
he's there all the time outdoors. You see him, he'll get a win, and we're like, oh yeah, it's maybe this is his year that he really really does it, and it always just it tapers a little bit, and then the brigade comes in and Eli and Roxon and Webb and everybody come in, and you don't really get to see him finish really strong. So I really want Baggett to have a good season. And as far as who I think, we know Eli's going to be there. Like that's a given. I'm curious to see how Kenny comes into outdoors.
Me too.
Very curious.
Me too. Because he came in strong last year. Like, don't forget, like, the dude had almost kind of like what he did for Supercross. Like, he was strong early.
Exactly.
He was strong really early. So, I don't know. Hopefully, my pick is I think we're going to see Tomac take it. I would like to see Kenny give Tomac a run for his money up to the last round. I want to see a really close, tight battle, obviously. That would be my pick. So, who you calling for 250s? Same question.
Same question. So 250s. I think Dylan gets it.
Okay, I agree with that.
I think he gets it, but I think Justin Cooper has a really good outdoor season.
That's another guy that people are sleeping on a little bit. Outdoor wise,
Justin Cooper has a really good outdoor season.
I think so too. He was strong last year. Last year wasn't his rookie season, was it?
He came in outdoors, I think.
Okay, yeah. So maybe
he did
season and a half, maybe. But yeah, I think he's another guy that again people are sleeping on him for outdoors. He's solid, and as long as he can keep the stamina up and be there at the end of the moto, that could be all she wrote for a lot of people.
To spin the block back to 450, forgot to touch on this.
Okay.
Chase Sexton.
Oh yeah, he's moving up.
Riding outdoors on the 450.
Okay, he's on the big boy bike now. Okay, he got the big boy wheels. So where do you think he's gonna end up, man? Where is he gonna come out and pull a Dungy and just smoke everybody or Tomac type of performance, or are we gonna see him sort of progress slowly?
I don't think he comes out and lights the world on fire, but I think we'll see him in the top 10. I think he'll poke his nose around the top 10 because, I mean, like you said, the guy is one of the most fundamentally sound guys out there riding around. I mean, he looks like perfection on the bike.
Okay,
he's fast, big kid, so I think the 450 is going to fit him. But I'm really curious to kind of really see what he does if he. I mean, hey, you shut me up if he gets on the podium. I mean, that would be crazy to me.
Right? that would be insane, man. I mean, he's got the talent. Training partner is his teammate, Ken Roxon, one of the best guys in the world. He's got all the pieces to the puzzle, man, on one of the most prestigious motocross teams of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's all the balls in his court. He's got everything he needs, so
yeah.
We're in the league now.
Exactly, in the big league now.
In the big league, so I think this would be really cool. So Outdoors 2020, it's gonna be a movie, man. I'm excited for it. I think we can't wait to get back to some like racing, some normalcy, some Supercross, Motocross. Like we just need that racing, so it's gonna be good. And make sure that you guys don't miss out on the program. We want to get you guys working with a pro rider behind the scenes. Don't worry, we're gonna have COVID restrictions and rules, so you're gonna be safe. Everyone's gonna practice some definitely some COVID regularity. So But we want to get you guys working with a pro team. We have to limit our numbers, obviously, but please head to thecollectivexp.com to get your hands on an experience that you will never forget that can lead you to a career in motocross and supercross. Thecollectivexp.com, at thecollectivex on Instagram. We're really excited about that. Guys, tune in to these regularly. We're going to do these about once a week. Fucking pull Manny out of bed. We're going to do them as much as we can. We're going to have some really cool segments, some really cool rider interviews. We're going to do some cool drip checks, making sure everybody's looking drippy in their new kits, figuring out who has the latest kit. Usually it's Manny, but we're gonna make sure we rate all the latest kits. We're also gonna do a check-in with different products. Try to see if we can get you guys some really cool giveaways, as well as some rider rankings heading into each round, especially for the first round of outdoors. Manny Fresh, thank you so much for joining me. We're gonna kick this off every week. Again, thank you to our amazing sponsors, Flow Vision. Please grab yourself a set. They're right up there. Sick as goggles. FXR. Shout out to Broke Amateur Racing. Shout out to Intake Breathing. We want to thank Overshare Advice and Planning. Thank you guys for supporting the program. Thank you for supporting the show, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
Right, later.
I can never lose to you. He too cool. I can never lose to you until go boo. I can never lose to you. Hey, hey.